All right, guys, thanks for joining. I hope you all are doing great today. And let's start our session. Okay, so before I can start, anyone have any questions? They want to ask anything? Any feedback, any suggestions, any question? If you have, please let me know. All good? Great.
Yes,
Sorry,
Let's
sir. I just want to know what is the exams code this? I
uh
know it's FCP, but is there any specific code, assuming 117?
Power on.
that's only FCP is the new code as per the new certification guideline.
Mm.
That's the only FCP is the code. Let me show you again. So if I go for my FortiGate, where it is, and certification roadmap, you are going to find the certification roadmap, and this is more about the. So you have to become Fortinet certified professional. So this is the exam, okay? Fortinet administrator you have to give. That is the one exam, okay? This is exam, okay? You have to give FortiGate administrator, and this elective you have to select from this one, FortiManager. So then you are going to become the FCP. So these
Because
two,
I saw somewhere 7.4, 7.6 something. That is why if I
7.4 is just code of the OS version.
okay.
That's OS version. So this is the 40 OS. You can see here 7.0. So
Okay.
we have the code for the 40 devices.
All right.
I'll just check you. Let me show you the 40 minus 7 to 6. Let me check the exact IP. Admin. System interface. This is going to be 119. So 192. Let me just check log. So if you just go and log in it, you're going to get the version of devices, right? So that is going to be switch software version, which where see this 40.6, you can see 7.6. So this is the versions firmware 762. So 40 managers. There we have the 40 gate firewalls as well. So
Okay.
you have to define the versions, and based on that, you can just see how it's going to be configured. Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. All right, so we are good and we understand the basic fundamental of the FortiGate firewalls in terms of the dashboard. Now let's suppose you have to do this on the very scratch level configuration of the FortiGate firewall, then how it is going to happen, right? So very first thing, as I explained, like FortiGate firewalls have the different ports. So we have to identify if we have any new firewall, which one is my console port and which one is my management port. These two things you have to identify. And based on that, you have to take an actions. So if I talk about the console port, that is going to require for the CLI access. And that we know that every FortiGate firewall, we have the console port. That's a mandatory port it is going to require. So if you go for the 40, like 40F, So you're going to find the image like this. So in the front panel, you can see this image have this console port. But in this FortiGate firewall, you not have any port that is for the management. But if you go for the higher end firewalls, you are going to port management. You are going to get the management port as well. So by default, when you go and purchase the new firewall, and if have their dedicated management port, right now this port doesn't have, you can connect the firewall. Let me check physically. Yeah, let's have the WAN port, but not have the management. This is the WAN port, not the management port. So if you connect the firewalls with any RJ45 cable, right? By default, this port have the IP address 192.168.1.99. So we have to make the LAN connections from the PC. PC should also have the same size and you able to ping that. But what if I don't have this port available on the firewall? Can I still access the firewall? Yes, you can access the firewall. You can make these ports by default. Port 1 is going to act as your management or any other port you can do that. You have to define the IP address and then you have to put the PC IP address from the same subnet and then you can ping that. So in smaller firewalls, probably 40F, 50F, 60F, you're not going to find a dedicated management port. But you have the larger firewall, you can do the configuration for the management port. And that is going to look like in this way. Let me show you. Sorry. Yes, Srikant, your voice is not clear to me. Can you come again? So let's suppose if I'm going on this particular data set. So in this file, you can see we have the management port, one and management. Some have the two management port, but generally you're going to get one management port. So by default, if you're connecting the cable, that is a LAN cable on this particular port, let's suppose you're connecting the cables from your PC. So they are going to have the default IP address 192.168.1.199. So you have to give the same subnet IP address 192.168.1.200/24 or might be the 100 from /24 and they will going to ping and then you're going to check the GIX of the particular firewalls. Clear to everyone? So that is how you can take the GIX of the particular firewall. But if you
Vishal, I have one question. We have a firewall that has not management port. Then where we connect in LAN port?
yes, so for
Okay.
that case, you can select any of the port, but these
Okay.
ports don't have any IP address. You have to assign the manual IP address. So
Okay.
any firewall, by default, the port 1, it is going to enable the DSCP services. So if
Okay.
you want to assign the IP address on that particular port 1 only, I'm talking, it is first need to be disable the DSCP and then you have to sign the IP statically. Or your DSCP services must be enabled in the network, then only it is going to get an IP address.
Okay. So
Right?
in that scenario, we have to uh, take access by console, correct?
Yes, in that scenario, you
Okay.
have to take the access via the console. That's the only
Okay.
option we have.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
REST port, apart from port 1, whatever port we have, these interfaces are by default in the static mode and you can assign the IP address. There is no problem. But in the port 1, very important, by default, it's going to stay in the DSCP. And if you want to assign the IP address, by manually, you have to change the IP from DSCP to manual. This is what you have to do that. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So to take the console, if you let's suppose you want to go with the console connectivity,
Yeah.
you want to go with this
Sir,
particular
I'm so sorry. What is the IP of port 1?
no IP on port 1, it's a DSCP default port. Means this is a DSCP enabled port. Let's suppose I'm in the FortiGate firewall, Pritham. Okay, let's suppose I'm going to day 0 FortiGate firewall. This is our day 0 lab. Where it is. Yeah, this is my day 0 lab. And let's suppose I just wipe this firewall. Okay, so this is a virtual firewall, and let's suppose maybe this is the 40F firewall, physical firewall. The same scenario is going to be happen on both scenario. So when I open this firewall, you can see it's just starting. So it is going to be started. Then I have to put some credentials, and then it is going to be login. Then I'll show you what is the default ports are there, what is default IP is there. Means what is default mode like a static and DHCP is there.
Sure.
Just wait for a while. Yeah. So you can say by default, when you're going to log in the FortiGate firewall, the username, please note it down. The username is going to be admin here. And when you put the admin, you don't need to put any password. Let me put it here. Admin, you don't have to put any password. Clear? Very first time, if you're configuring any firewall, FortiGate firewall, by default, username is admin, no password, and you have to press enter. Now you have to change your password. So you have to put any password. I can put again admin. I will confirm the admin. So this password is going to be changed. Now I am the firewall mode. So initially when boot up, you have to do the same practice. You have to, this when you click double click, it is going to access in a console window. This is the console window. This is a virtual console window, right? If it is a physical, then you have to connect the console cables. But right now it's a virtual, so you have to do the virtual console. Make sense? Everyone clear? Now,
Yes,
if
sir, but it's getting the IP from any other DHCP server.
sorry,
So it's getting the IP from any other DHCP server, right?
where did you get this firewall is getting IP address?
Okay, you connected directly port one and
This
given
firewall
the.
doesn't have any IP connectivity right now.
Oh, okay, sorry. Port one you directly connect and given the IP of the same.
Your voice is not so clear to me, Joab, right? Might be it's like bubbling or like look like you are in the big room somewhere.
It is also me also.
Okay, no problem. So please adjust your mic access. So by default, I'm in the console. So if I just check, right? How to check whether the interfaces have the IP address or not? So show interface, right? Sorry, show system interface. The command is show system interface, and put the question mark. Then you're going to get these details. And you can see the port one, as I mentioned that, it is going to be by default on DHCP and it is not getting an IP address. This is what I want to do. So none of the interface have any IP address. FortiLink have the default IP address, so leave it. But these 4 ports, that is the actual physical ports we are going to use for our connectivity. Port 1 have the DHCP by default mode to take the IP address. Means let's suppose I connect any cloud on this port 1. Let's suppose I disconnect this cloud, disable this one, and I connect this to this cloud. This is a DHCP 1 cloud. It will get automatic IP address. Let me show you again here. Because this is a DHCP network, so it will get the IP address. See? So automatic this get the IP address. Why? Because this cloud has the DHCP feature. So it was start DORA process, and based on that DORA process, it is going to get an IP address. Make sense? So if your network have the DHCP available and you're connecting the port 1, then it is going to get default IP address. But let's suppose this network doesn't connect to DHCP and you want to connect like this PC, which is non-DHCP devices, this is not going to get any IP address, right? It is going to remove the IP address after time, or if I reboot the firewall, it is going to remove the IP address because this IP address is no further valid for the our network because this is not connected, but already IP assigned, so it is going to keep in memory. So this is what I want to talk. If my Alpesh, any question?
Sir,
Yes, Nausad.
yeah. My question is like by default port one over IP is enabled, right? Will get access any devices. So in this port over also like any services by default enable like ping and HTTP.
Yes, I'll talk. Go step by step. I'll discuss this all, okay?
Okay, okay.
Just wait,
Thank you.
wait for a while, okay? So that means you have to connect the console here if you're the physical
Sir,
firewall
I have
and
another question.
Hmm.
How come I know what IP the port one is getting in DSCP? How come I know?
You see, now this is the IP it is getting.
Hmm. If I don't have any CLI mode.
So if you don't have the CLI mode, then
Hmm.
if you have the physical firewall, then you can log into the management via the management IP address. That's the only
Oh,
option. Until you not log into the
okay.
management, how you will get that? There's
No,
no.
I can understand, but my tricky question. So I'm just want to know
There could be
if
another reason. Might be if you have a DSCP server, you can just
hmm,
check the recent lease, what is like assigned to the new device. From
okay.
there, you can get that some idea. Okay.
Hmm,
But
got
if
it.
you get a DSCP server, they have the device name also. Which device is getting this IP address? iPhone, PC. You can get the
Hmm,
firewall host name as well, right? So that is going to be there. Third option is that only. I don't think other options
okay.
will be available. Either
Okay.
CLS, GUI, or maybe the lease only.
Hmm,
Okay. So now here is the first lab. In this lab, we have one PC, one firewall, and I have to take the GUI access of the firewall. So how I can do that? The very first thing, I need to go in my PC and I need to assign the IP address from the same subnet. Means I will take the one network because it's a physical firewall, then we connect the management and then you can take that. But it's a virtual firewall and might be the 40F firewall which not have the management port. So I will connect one port one and I will assign this IP address and the same subnet I will assign to my this PC as well. So I will go here, network, property, adapter settings. You have to go in the properties. And then this is my protocol. So you can see this is a one IP already I assigned, but you have to use the IP address manually from here. So this is the one thing. And then after you have to click OK, OK, and close. Second step, you have to go to FortiGate firewall and you have to assign the IP address on this particular port one. And that IP address is 192.168.10.10. So how you can do that? I'm going a bit slow because it's very important. So you have to run the command. Might be you're going to get the lab guide for this one. Let me show you. This is going to be lab guide for the initial configuration. So I will share how it is going to be assigned, but let me quickly do that, how it is going to happen. So you have to go config, and then you have to write system, and you have to write interface, config system interface. Then you have to put enter. And then you want to edit the port 1. So you have to write the command edit port 1. Now if you want to set the IP address, set IP, let's suppose 192.168.10.10/24. You can see it is getting a warning. Can't change the dynamic IP address because this is already assigned the IP address from the dynamic mode. So you cannot change the mode of the IP address, right? So what is another way we have? So another way
We
we
need
have,
to step it.
hello Jitu.
Hello. We need to change the DHCP mode.
Yes, we have to change the GSP mode first. So I have to, please don't write on the screen. Somebody is writing, please. So I have to set mode. We have to set mode and we have the option static here from DSCP. So I have to set mode as static. And now once I do the set mode as static, then I try to change the IP address, set IP address, this one. Srikant, don't write please on the screen. I request.
Okay, sir.
Please everyone, do not try to write anything on the screen. It's my request. Just hold on guys. So this is what I can do, that I just write the IP address, and after that I can just end it. This configuration is going to be live. So only I change the IP address. But if you want to see the configuration, so you run the command show system interface port 1. So you will see the configuration of this port. This port is part of the VDOM root by default to global routing VDOMs. IP is this, but by default, this is the services. The Naushad was asking, by default, these services are allowed on this particular port. Means this port have the ping feature. This can do the ping. This can do the HTTPS. This can do the SSH and FortiManager also. HTTP as well. Sorry, only HTTP, not HTTPS. Give me just 2 minutes. There is some power issue. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me back. All right, so I'm back, right? So by default, what happened? We have the different interfaces. Like we have the ping services, we have the HTTPS services, we have the SSH, HTTP, and FMG. So these are the by default allowed. But if you want to allow some additional services, that is also possible. If you want to allow some additional services, that is also possible, and you can allow that.
So, Vishal sir, here commit write memory is not required, correct?
Not, it's not required.
Okay.
You guys just have to do the end, and that is going to work for you. You don't have to do anything. So right now, if I want to add any new services on this particular port, like HTTPS you want to add. So how you can do that? You just have to go in the config from the CLI, system interface, edit port 1, and you have to run the command set allowance. Let's suppose you're running the HTTPS and now go run command source system interface and port 1. So the output is, if you just adding one command, it is just over adding the remaining command. So very careful, guys. Whenever you want to add any command, you have to make sure whatever the old services are there, that is going to be intact, and you have to add the new services here. Make sense? So along with your old services, you have to make sure you add the new services here. So what is the right way to do that? I have to go in the config, system interface, and I will go edit port 1. And here I'll do the set allowance, and I'll put the ping, I'll put the HTTP was earlier, right? HTTPS was earlier, right? And HTTP was earlier, right? And SSH was there. I want to add telnet, I can add FM, sorry, FGFM I want to add. Now if I put and I can enter, now you'll see my interface have the multiple services. So the very important, either you want to delete or allow, you have to write the complete syntax in the new format. From CLI, GUI it's very easy. Just have to drag and drop and click, and that is going to work. Now once we're done, now this is having this IP address, ping is allowed. So I'll go on my window firewall, and I can just log in from the CMD. I'll go my command prompt here, and I'll just check IP config, and I'll just try to ping 192.168.10.11 and say it's reachable. So I have the connectivity between my FortiGate firewall to my PC. So I'll go in the browser.
10.10.
10.10, what I ping that?
10.11.
Let me try to ping again. 10.10 should be also reachable. Let me try. Hold on, something went wrong. Ping 192.168, 10.11. It's reachable, right? So now I'll go here and try to put the IP address in the browser. The moment I'll put the IP address in the browser, it's going to log in my FortiGate firewall. Very first time it is going to log in my FortiGate firewall. So you guys have to do the same process to very first time log in the FortiGate firewall. So at least you can get the dashboard in your lab infrastructure. Now you see, so you have the already username, admin, password is admin. So just put it username and password and wait. We can do that later. I don't want to do anything here. Okay. So now this is the FortiGate firewall, and from this FortiGate firewall, if you want to set up anything from the network point of view, you can do that. Same what I explained in the previous session, how the dashboard is going to look like. The same dashboard is going to be there, but it is going via the virtual PC, and from here you can do whatever you want to do that. So let's suppose I want to change anything from the GUI, because this is the interface. This is going to be part of my network section. So I'll go here, network. And here is it's my policy. I'll go in the network interface. Here is my port, right? So if I want to do any changes from the GUI, even I want to make this port go in the dynamic mode. From CLI, we understand how it is going to be happen, but GUI, if I want to do that, you can just go and click on the DHCP. So it will again try to get IP address from the DHCP. So in that case, we are not going to get any DHCP IP address because my firewall is connected with the PC. But if we click on the manual, then it is going to be again part of the static. So you can change any time DHCP to manual from GUI. Just a click. You don't have to write any command, right? Auto manage IPAM. There is IPAM tool, right? That assign the IP addresses to devices. Again, similar to DHCP, that you can also do that. One arm sniper is something different use case. We'll see how it is going to be converted in the one arm sniper later on. If you want to define the secondary IP address, you can click and define the secondary IP address. We don't require. And here is a administrative access. So CLI, you have to manually type one by one. You have to write every command. But GUI, if you want to remove like telnet, you can remove the telnet. If you want to remove the HTTPS, you can remove it and you just click OK. Your job has been done. Click OK. And I will see that this interface only have the 3 administrative access. So you can easily click from the CLI anytime. If you want to change anything, you can easily do it from here. And you want to run again from the CLI. What is my port 1? See, only ping as such and FortiGate Manager connectivity is available. FMG access, HTTP, SSH, and ping. So this is how you can do that. Is it clear to everyone how we can access the FortiGate firewall? Any doubt in last 30 minutes? Everyone okay? The day zero lab, you know what is the console port? What is my management port? What is default IP address?
Yes.
Clear?
Here we use HTTP, not HTTPS,
Yes,
correct?
you have to use HTTP because HTTPS is not going to work because it's evolution mode firewall, so HTTPS is not going to support it.
Okay, understood.
Palo Alto,
Thanks.
it's work under HTTPS, but here in FortiGate, it's going to work as a HTTP. All right, guys, good. So let me move to the next step. So day zero, we understand. Now we have to understand, let's suppose, let me open our course content. So now we understand basic understanding, FortiGate dashboard, initial working lab. We have the different interface types in FortiGate. We have a different interface type. So we have to understand why this interface is going to be required. So let me open a master lab and there I can show you more things so you guys can understand. Or let me open this lab, not this one, just hold on. Routing lab, FortiGate. Where is that lab? Yeah, this one, FortiGate interface lab. So in FortiGate firewall, we have the different interfaces. So they're asking you ping on PC. Yes, you can ping from FortiGate firewall. You can ping the PC. I'll show you how it is going to be happen. Okay, I'll show you. Don't worry about that. Let me stop this recording and record this recording. So we are discussing FortiGate interface here. So I will just simply wipe off this firewall to just avoid any configuration. I just turn on the devices. Okay. So we have the multiple use cases, right? And we have to understand each and every use cases. So you guys have to always log in this FortiGate firewall from this server or PC, right? Because you have to turn on and you have to log in it. For me, it's my in LAN. So now in this time, this port 1 is going to act as a management port, right? So it will get automatic IP address. You don't have to do again and again same IP address configurations. Makes sense? So you just have to use your management port for any kind of the configuration remote access of this firewall. Means you're sitting on this PC. This PC is going to get some subnet of IP address, and this PC is going to get same subnet of IP address. So you're going to easily ping. So first you have to verify what is my PC IP address and what is my firewall IP address. And from this PC, you have to ping this firewall and is going to take the GUI access of your firewall. So in this scenario, let me show you. If I'm going on the FortiGate firewall, clicking OK, okay. And then if I going to my 14 admin, and show system interface, you're going to get this FortiGate firewall is getting the 141 IP address, 192.168.141. So it will automatically get. So you can go on this PC, turn on this PC, and if you get the same series of IP address, you're able to ping this FortiGate firewall from here. And you can get the IP means accessibility, and you can just take the GUI access. But I'm in the LAN, so I'll simply go in my browser and I just type the IP address. That's the 146, the IP address. Sorry, 141 is the IP address, not 146. So I'll go and type that. So I can log in directly in my local computer because I'm the LAN. All right. So I'll just simply go here and I'll just put it and I can just log in and later and okay, this is done. So this is my FortiGate firewall, which I log in my PC. But you guys have to log in from this PC or this PC, either one. So what is my interface type? So if you go in the FortiGate document officially, might be, if you don't know where is document, click on here, online help. You're going to open document directly from here. If you don't remember where is document, so you're going to directly land on this document. And here is my network section. I don't want to go dashboard. I want to go network. And here's my interface. And if you click on the interfaces, you are going to find a lot of good definition here about the interface type. See, we have the alias for any interface you want to give the name. You have the interface VLANs, VRFID, virtual domain, interface number, roles. A lot of things are here, right? You can find the lot of definitions. But best book I will share to you. Let me open that book where you are going to get more insight about the interfaces. So if I go and open this FortiOS, this book, let me open in front of you all. So I will share this book with everyone. Just open this book and you go here in the interface sections. Interface settings. Same concept you're going to see here, right? You're going to find different type of interface configurations, right? Physical interface you're going to get here, right? But most important, you can see there are some VLAN aggregations, right? You can see the software switch, right? We have the hardware switch, we have the zones, we have the virtual. So we have to understand these, like enhance MAC VLANs, VXLAN. So we have to understand why these interfaces are very important. You can see the same output as there. If I go again here, probably which book was there here? So you are getting the same output. Like we have the different interface type here also. You're going to where it was open. Let me click on.
So this feature is only we can get from FortiGate Firewall.
Yes.
But Cisco ASA, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, we don't have. Correct?
No. Palo Alto have. Palo Alto there have some features.
Okay,
Right?
but I did not see. Okay, let
But
I.
if you download this book, you can download from PDF, and you're going to get similar kind of view only. So the first interface type is the VLAN interface, right? So why the VLAN interface is important? What is the use of the VLAN interface? We have to understand. So VLAN is just basically you have to define the trunking, like multiple VLAN you want to configure, you want to make the communication between them. Then it's going to be VLAN interface. Take an example. There are two PCs. Where is my firewall? Let's put it here. So take an example. These are the two PC. This might be going in the two different VLANs. So I'll quickly open this PC1 and I will open the PC2. I will give the one PC IP address 10.10.10. So how I can do that? I'll go IP 10.10.10.10/24. In the gateway, it will be going to your firewall because we have to do the inter-VLAN routing. So this is going to take an IP address. This is how you can find the IP address. So I give the IP address 10.10.10/24 and gateway is my this firewall. Clear? I'll go another PC and I'll give the IP address 20.20.20.20 and the gateway is the 2020.1. This is my another address. So now if I just run show IP, you get this IP address and this gateway and show IP, you're going to get. So if you are going to ping these devices together, it is not going to work for you. So we have to do some short of the configuration of the switch. And in this switch, we have to make these two ports. This is going to part of the VLAN 10. And this is going to part of the VLAN 20. So these are going to be stay as an access port. These ports are going to stay as an access port. This is my going to be trunk port. And I need to pass the both VLAN from here. 10 and 20. Both need to pass from there. So let me do that. And then we'll move to the firewall and we'll see how VLAN is going to be created, how we can make the communication between these two devices. Very simple lab, but let me do that. So I'll open the switch. And after going in switch, very first thing, I'll create two VLANs. VLAN 10 and I'll create the VLAN 20. Clear? Now the very first thing, I'll go on port 0x2 and assign the VLAN interface gig 0x2 switch port mode access VLAN 10. Another port I have the port 3, right? 03. So I'll go here 03 switch port mode access VLAN 20. Exit. Now I will go on the port, that is a trunk port. This is my gig 0x0. So interface gig 0x0. I'll make switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk allowed VLAN 1020, right? Sometime you have to put the command switch port trunk encapsulation dot on give if your command is not working, right? And then you have to put do right. So your switch configuration is done. What we have done, 3 things we have done. The very first thing, again I'm recapping. We create the VLANs 10 and VLAN 20. Gig 0x2 part of the VLAN 10. Gig 0x3 part of VLAN 20 as an access port. Now we have the another port, I believe gig 0x1, that is going to be act as my trunk port. Yeah, gig 0x0, right? So that is going to be trunk port. So this is what we have done. Clear to everyone? So now you can see this configuration done, but still, if you try to ping the devices between each other, it is not going to work. If I try to ping the VPC1 to VPC2, let's suppose 20.20.20.20, it is not going to work because we not have any communication. Layer 2 switch, it is not going to do any routing. So we require the layer 3 device who can perform the inter-VLAN routing. So my traffic is going to be there via trunk, and this is going to be have 2 VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. And then these are going to be make the communication. So let me do that, how it is going to happen. So I will go on my FortiGate firewall. This is my network interface. Here you have to go create interface and go on the interface. Now you have to go here and define the VLAN 10. This is my VLAN 10. Now this is already part of the VLAN. So make sure you select the VLANs from here. And you have to map the interface on which interface this VLAN is going to map. So we are going to match on the port 4. So I'll go here and click on the port 4. And what is my VLAN ID? That is going to be 10. And this is the LAN, and I have to define the IP address. That is the gateway is going to be 10.10/24. And I want to allow the services. Probably I can allow the HTTPS, SSH, ping. These 3 services I will allow. And I click OK. The moment I will do, you can see one VLAN has been created on this particular port. So if I go on this particular PC and try to ping, at least gateway should be reachable now. See, I'm able to ping the gateway, but still if you go and try to ping 20, it is not going to work. Clear? So I have the gateway reachability. Second, I will go again on this particular port and create the interface. And this is going to be VLAN 20. And this is going to be port 4. This is the 20. And this is going to be 20.20.20.1/24. This is HTTP ping SSH. I click OK. So you can see now we have the another interface as well. And now if I go here again from this particular PC and try to ping my gateway, should be reachable. But still, if I try to ping my 10.10, it is not going to work. Any reason, anyone? We make the gateway reachability, but they are not able to ping each other. What could the issue? Any guess, new student? Not asking with the repeat one, but who all the new can just tell me why they are not able to ping. Any guess? Because they have the gateway reachability. From here I can reach the VLAN 10. From here I can reach the VLAN 20. So we are good with the connectivity, but why they are not able to ping?
Need to enable IP routines.
Directly connected, no? So they are good with the routing. There is no problem. Directly connected network, no? So they are good with the routing. If you go in the routing table, let me show you. The route is there in the routing table. If you go in the dashboard, go in the now routing. See here, they are the all connected route. So routing table is there. There is no problem with routing table. See, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, both are available here. Any other guess?
By default, ICMP block in this port.
But you are able to ping the gateway, no?
Array.
We
ICMP.
need to make a policy.
Yes.
Sorry.
So we have to create the policy. By default, in the FortiGate as well, everything is denied. There's no intra-zone or inter-zone concept here. In Palo Alto, we have the intra-zone and inter-zone, but in the FortiGate, there's no intra-zone and inter-zone concept. By default, everything is in implicit deny. So go in the policy and see. By default, everything is denied here. By default, everything is denied. Means whatever the communication you're doing, that all is denied. Clear? So to make them allow, we have to create the policy. So how the policy is going to be created? We can create the policy bi-directional. So I want to make the communication VLAN 10 to VLAN 20. So when incoming interface, VLAN 10, outgoing interface, VLAN 20. I'll leave source any for time being. I'm not going to touch that all. And I'll go all. NAT is not required. And I'll just enable all session. So right now my VLAN 10 can talk to 20, but still 20 cannot talk to my 10. So let me show you. Now if I'm going on this particular PC and I try to ping 20, should be reachable. See, I'm able to ping. But if I want to ping from 10 to 20 to 10, it's not pingable because it's a stateful firewall, and a stateful firewall only one directional traffic is going to allow if you're creating the one directional policy. So if you want to make the both directional policy, then it is going to be created. So you can just go and create the new policy. VLAN 22, VLAN 10, 20, 10, source make it all, destination make it all. This is going to be all. NAT is not required, session and all. And now if you ping again from here, you will able to ping. So now you have the bi-directional traffic. Okay, let me do the repetitive ping. So we can packets, we do some packet capture. So you can see bi-directional traffic is running and you want to see some live logs from the firewall point of view. You can always go and check the dashboards, the source, destination, whatever the packet is going, see the connection are going to show here. Which destination it is going. It is showing like this is the ICMP packet, any applications, right? On nothing is there. And also you're going to find the log and report section for the traffic here. See, this is the last traffic. If you want to learn more about, click on it. It is going to give the detailed view. What the source, what destinations, which country, which VLANs, which protocol, actions, everything is going to there. So this is how you can do the inter-VLAN routing. Clear? And this is the VLAN interface that is going to be required. Any doubt, guys, on this? Any questions? Any feedback? Any suggestions? Or we are good? All right, very easy. So let's go.
Means we have to create policy, reverse policy, means incoming, outgoing policy for every
Right.
times.
Right.
Okay.
So
So, I think when you were checking the details of the country, I think I saw United States there, or it's because of the VM.
yeah, that's the country in United States because of the VMs, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All right.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Now we'll discuss another one, but let's discuss the zone. What is zone here? In FortiGate, we have the zone concepts as well. So what is zone? Zone is not like in the Palo Alto. We have to make the logical segregation of your interfaces. Means they are going to be one zone, DMG, right? They have to create the trust zone. You have to create the untrust zone. Not like that. If you go for your any firewall configurations for Palo Alto, we have the different zones. But in FortiGate, zone have the totally different meaning. Zone means a method to group the interfaces. A method to group the interfaces. That could be the physical interface, that could be the virtual interface. So you can apply the more simplified policy. Let me re-explain. Zone is the method, logical grouping that is going to contain more or one means more than one interfaces. That could be the virtual interface, physical interface, and this is going to simplify your security policy configuration. So there is no relation like the Palo Alto firewall. What is zone? It's just simple how simplified you can create a policy. Let me give the example. Right now, let's suppose these two PC want to go on the internet. Take an example. So how the policy is going to be created? Now VLAN 10 to port 1 and internet. Then VLAN 20 and port 1 and going to on the internet. So this is the how it is going. So for that, I can simply go here in the FortiGate firewall. And if I want to create the internet, let's suppose this PC want to talk the real internet. Let me stop this communication. And ping, this is my ping request, right? It's not working. If I go here also, if I just ping the 8.8.8, probably it is not working. But I want to make them workable. So I'll go in the firewall policy. I'll go here and create one policy. Like I can make the VLAN 10 to internet. The problem is you cannot make both VLAN in the same policy. If I want to make VLAN 10, 22 policy, 10, 20 to internet, I don't have option to select both interface together. See, I cannot apply. Outgoing interface is one. But if I want to integrate these two interfaces together, that's the problem. So only I can define one policy, 10 to internet. All I can do that. All I can do that from here. All except NAT is going to be required for time being. We'll discuss what is the NAT. And I can just sessions. The moment I'll create, you will see this is going to be start pinging the internet. See, this have the internet communication. But this is not pinging still. Why? Because we don't have the policy. So again, I have to create a new policy. So if I have the 100 of the LAN, I have to create the 100 of the policy for this kind of the requirement. VLAN 20 to the internet. And I go here 20, then port 1, all, see here. This is done. And then if you go here, check, this is also start pinging. But what if I want to not create the two policy? I want to create only one policy. Then how it is possible? Yes, it is possible. I first need to delete this policy. Let me delete this. I need to delete this all policy. I don't require this policy. And I will create the new zone. I'll create the new policy. The moment I'll create, you can see they stop talking to the internet. We lost the internet. But I need to create a single policy so that they can talk to the internet directly. So for that, I have to go and I have to create the policy. How it is going to happen? I have to go I have to go in the network interface, and here we have the zone. In this zone, I need to map my LAN VLANs. And I can go here, LAN VLAN, that is a VLAN 10, and that is going to be VLAN 20. And I'll click OK. And you can see my two VLANs are going to map in the one zone. That is let me rename it. LAN zones. I can put it LAN zones. So I create a LAN zone, and you can see in this LAN zone, we have a two VLAN. Now, if I want to define the policy, it is going to be easy for me to define the policy. I can go in the policy section, firewall policy, and if I go here, create, and I just put the not VLAN LAN to internet. I can just select the zone. Now it's at the both VLAN. I'll go here, port 1, I'll go all, I'll go here, all, I'll go here, all. NAT is going to be required, session is going to be required. Click OK. The moment I will do, you see again, you have the internet for the both of the PC. So this is the meaning of the zone of the FortiGate firewall. Make sense, guys? You guys understand clearly? All right, so that is the definition of zone. Now let's suppose quickly if you want to create any loopback interface. So how we can create a
So,
loopback?
sir,
Yes,
sorry
Ben.
for interference. It means from many to multi-source to single source, right?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. If you want to create quickly loopback interface, right? So you can just go here, loopback. It's very easy to just explore this firewall, but you should know all the features. Just go here and not the policy, sorry. You don't have to go in the policy, you have to go in the network. And you have to go here, create, right? Interface. And just you want to create a loopback interface. Then you have to select the, or let me put here, loopback 10. So you just have to go there and put here loopback interface. There's no plan, you can put any IP address. Let's suppose you want to put 10.10.10.10/24. You want to allow the ping, SSH, right? Already this subnet is allowed for the one subnet, so we can put the 100, right? Let's create the 100. So I can make that 100, 100, 100, and you can see here, and I can just go and I can create. So you can create the loopback as well. So I believe that's good for today. We have to understand more interface. I'll cover these all. Software switch, how it is going to be there. And hardware switch, we cannot do that. But I'll explain the aggregate, redundant, and software switch tomorrow, okay? And a virtual wire. So you guys get full understanding. Clear? Clear to everyone?
Yeah.
Probably tomorrow will
Yes.
not have the class, but Friday we'll have the class. I'll confirm, okay? Anyhow. From Monday, it is going to be regular. Anyhow. All right, guys?
Okay.
Okay, so if we can get the lab, so at least we can practice. So
Yes, you don't have the lab, Ben, still?
I have the SD1, but
Not
FortiGate
in
have,
the... Okay.
yeah.
Okay, let me ask someone to arrange your lab, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you again, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Too.
Good night.
Bye.